this off. About 2 weeks ago, I started smelling a rotten egg smell in my car while I was driving. I thought maybe it was rotten garbage at first, or maybe something in my drain. So I flushed that, cleaned the whole car. It came back. I popped the hood open. I didn't see any leaks. I didn't smell the smell at all under the hood. It's only here in the cabin. So I've been watching some YouTube videos and a bunch of people saying that smell could be coming from your car's battery. So I'm gonna take the seat apart of my Ford Transit. It's so hard to access the battery in this thing. I wanna take a peek at it, see if anything's fishy. Popping those bolts off lets me slide the chair forward a little extra. Not that much though. And now I just have to undo all of this crap. Yeah, unlike normal cars where you can just pop the hood and get to the battery, in the Ford Transit, you basically have to take like the whole seat apart. It's the bane of my existence. But I think I got the last bolt off right here. Now this has a little metal bar that kind of pops off. I can just get that out of the way. Let's put that right here. And then last but not least, there's this plastic plate that goes above it. Let's see if anything looks suspicious with the battery. So here on the negative terminal, there is a whole bunch of corrosion. I'm not sure why. I remember putting some of that corrosion fluid, whatever it's called, anti-corrosion fluid on it. I'm thinking I just need to replace the whole battery. Yeah, I think this is where the smell is coming from. Like I said, I popped the hood out. I never smelled that stuff in there. I also don't smell it when I'm in the back. It's just like up here by the driver's seat. I don't know why a car battery would have that sulfur smell. I saw a YouTube video where it was like whistling, making a leaking sound, but I don't hear anything like that. Regardless, I think the first thing I'm gonna do is get to an AutoZone and replace the battery. If I can repair this myself and not take it to Ford, I will. I'll tell you why. I added a few connections to this battery. I added a DC to DC charger that connects on the hotline, and I added a battery monitor that connects on the black line. Those serve a specific reason. That's so I can charge my house battery while driving. A very common install, on camper vans. And the other one was so I can monitor the health of the battery, or at least the voltage of it. And from that perspective, it looks fine. It's giving me almost 13 volts right now, fully charged at 70 amps. So I don't know why it's giving me a problem. The reason I don't take it to Ford is because they see those connections and they say, that's all you did this. And what they do is they take apart all my connections and reset it to the factory setting. That is exactly what happened when I was having issues with that auto start stop feature, which by the way, they have since taken out Ford Transits. I was having problems with that, and I took it to the Ford dealership in Pittsfield, and they cut off all my battery connections, all my DC, all my hard work in the install, reset it to factory and called it a day. That's all they do, rather than solving the root problem, which turned out to be the starter, not like my connections at all. So I have a bitter feeling about Ford. I'm gonna try to fix this myself. Batteries are a couple $100, kind of a pain, but I think that's what this problem is.
Let's say this is supposed to be the total amount if you didn't give your old battery back. If you give your old battery back, it'll become this.
They said they're okay with me swapping it out here in the parking lot. I'm gonna get some of this stuff, this corrosion cleaner stuff, for some of those connections. Now, this might not solve the problem, but if I were to take it to Ford, they would charge $200 just to diagnose this, not even fix anything, and half the time they're wrong. So I've learned to spend a few bucks and try to fix the most likely cause of the problem, which is what I think this is. Again, I might be wrong. All right, I hate taking the battery apart. I got the ground line disconnected, and look at all the corrosion all over this. I don't understand why there's so much. I put some of that dielectric grease on it to improve the connection. I wonder if that contributed to this, but that is an absolute mess. Yeah, I need to investigate what's causing all that corrosion. All my connections, I'm not sure. But in the meantime, I put it around a rubber glove right here while I disconnect the hot line. Now, it's interesting that there was only corrosion on the ground line, but I vaguely remember that being the case with like old Duracell batteries. Only corrodes in one node. I'm definitely using this stuff. The way this works is you spray it on the corrosion and let it sit for like 2 to 4 minutes. I think it's like a vinegar or something like that. Then you flush that, brush it away with water, and then you spray this corrosion prevention stuff on it. I've never heard of that. I wish I had used it before, but here goes nothing. So this is the battery cleaner. I'm just gonna spray it all over this corrosion, and there's a lot of it. There's definitely some copper in there. I'll try not to get it on the rest of the electronics in here. I'm not sure what this stuff is. Doesn't smell like vinegar, but it's definitely bubbling over. You see that? I'll let that sit for a couple of minutes. So this is the steel brush they give you. I guess this side is for the node, but it unscrews, and this is just a hard steel brush. I'm just gonna try to scrape all of that crap off. Try not to get it in the area. All right, so let's see how I did. Does that stuff come off? Yeah, it is cleaning up quite nicely. That's a good sign. What do you think? I probably should have done a before and after. I'm not sure I did that. I got as much off as I can. There is still some green on in the little holes, but the main connection point right there, I've cleaned up, well, as best as I can. Let's try this. You know what? I'm still not satisfied with this, so I am sacrificing a toothbrush. Good idea to change my toothbrushes every once in a while anyway. I'm trying to get all the green off. I want to polish this thing clean. Now that kit says to reconnect everything, and only after it's reconnected the battery do I spray on this connection improvement stuff. So I'm gonna put all of this back together. I did it. Battery has been swapped. You need delicate fingers for that. It's such a stressful thing. Anyway, the instructions for this battery corrosion prevention spray say just to spray it all over all the connections, the node, the connecting cables, the bolts, everything. So hopefully it doesn't spark or cause a fire. Here goes nothing. I think I'll start with the positive cable. Let me do a test spray over there. All right, just do a little of that. Now this says it doesn't evaporate ever, it just kind of stays. Looks like it has an orange tint to it, but let's do all the negative connections here. All right, no sparks, no arcs. Get on this side too. I really don't want anything corroding this time. And look at this. The battery has been connected. It successfully works. I'm positive that I did everything right. Not that this is like rocket science, but I'm gonna get rid of that old battery and put all these connections back together. Well, that was a huge pain in the ass. After I installed the new battery, the guy from AutoZone came out and took the old one, and he said, hey, this one's still under warranty. You need to take this battery that you just installed out of your van so we can scan it and do the warranty swap, give you your $200 back. So I did that, and he could not find my account or whatever using my phone number. And so I had to eat the $200, reinstall that battery. I was here for like way too long, but the deed is done. Now it's just whether or not I still smell that rotten egg smell when I'm driving. I don't smell it right now. I just smell that battery cleaner stuff, which is marginally worse. I've been driving around for a bit. Not only do I not smell that rotten egg smell at all, I am pulling a whopping 14.7 volts on this new battery. I have not gotten above 14 volts in quite a while. I think I just killed that old battery. It was meant to go. I'm kind of glad it gave off that scent, because that's how you know they're about to die. Well, I spoke too soon. That sulfur smell just came back. It is so unpleasant. I don't want my van smelling like this. I don't know what's causing it. If anyone in the comments has had this rotten egg smell in your car, let me know what it was and how you dealt with it. I think I'm gonna have to take this to a mechanic. You know, it's weird. I pop open the hood, I don't smell it at all under there. It's only here in the cabin area, as far as I can tell. I also saw on YouTube that sometimes like fuel injection fluid or something leaks, or transmission fluid, and when it boils it makes that smell. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what I should be looking for here. I'll put the camera right under the hood. I don't see anything. Let me get it out of the tripod here. I don't see any evidence of stuff leaking. I don't see any abrasions in the wires. I'm just not seeing anything out of the blue here. Someone on Reddit said that window washer fluid can cause that smell somehow. I'm not sure, but I just topped this off. That did not do anything. I'm just not seeing anything out of the blue here. So I don't know what to do. My van is only 3.5 years old, you know, which is, it feels like a young van to me, but vehicles are like dogs. You have to measure time differently. I have put 80,000 miles on this thing in just 3.5 years, which I guess is a lot. Like 20,000 miles of driving a year. I don't know, is that a lot? That's what I do. And I worry about like engine stuff going, you know, like hardcore system stuff going. I did just have all my transmission fluid flushed and replaced, you know, just like a couple of months ago. Didn't have to, but I just wanted to. It's one of those things that can give your transmission a little extra life. Just had the brakes redone. I just had like the suspension redone. What else? Probably some other stuff too. I'm not even sure, but if there's something wrong with the engine, you know, like the thing about Googling stuff that's wrong with your car, it's like Googling stuff that's wrong with your skin. It's like it could be nothing or it could be cancer. I Googled sulfur smell in the car. The number one thing was that battery. The number two thing was something leaking in the engine and you have to get your engine replaced. Like, how can the options be so extreme? You know what I mean? It's so stressful. This is one thing you have to consider if you're gonna live in a van, you know? Like, having systems that I built break down, that's one thing. I don't sweat those too much. I know I can fix that. But stuff that's hardcore, like car stuff, that I don't know how to fix, and even if I did, I don't have the tools to fix it. I'm totally at the mercy of this vehicle doing what it's supposed to do. I got a Ford Transit because it had the all-wheel drive. You know, I like the look of the Transit. It had the right dimensions and stuff, but sometimes I wonder if I should have gotten the Sprinter. They actually cost roughly the same nowadays if you get all the same options. I mostly got the Ford Transit because like there are so many Transit dealerships. If something gets fixed, you can if something breaks, you can get it fixed pretty much right away, which is what's happened. You know, I have no problem finding and making service appointments for this vehicle. I've heard that with Sprinters, if something breaks, you might have to wait for like 2 months for a part from Germany to come in. That's what I've heard. I don't know, though. I often fantasize about getting a second van, maybe in a couple years from now, maybe 5, I don't know, whenever this thing totally breaks down, and rebuilding it all over. There are many things I would do differently. Maybe I'll do a video about that, things I would do differently. But if I did, I think I would probably get a Sprinter. Just to see, you know, just to compare if I would have this many problems. The brake stuff, the suspension stuff, the auto start stop feature. I hope they don't have that in the Sprinter. Anyway, I'm like putting my underwear away and talking to you guys. Sorry about this. I'm trying to wrap up for the evening. At least the good news is I got all my laundry caught up on, which I needed. I wore this Gator shirt. This is becoming my favorite shirt, by the way, this Gatorland t-shirt that I got in Gatorland, Florida last year. I got a lot of merch from that place, Gatorland. I think it's in Orlando, if I remember. Worth a stop. I don't know why I'm talking about Gatorland. I'm trying to get off the topic of van problems. So this could also be a catalytic converter causing this smell, not like the engine at all. That would explain why I don't smell it at all under the hood. It's only like here in the cabin. The catalytic converter is like directly underneath where I'm sitting right now, so it can simply rise up. Problem is, the repair bill for that is like $3,500, if that's what it is. I don't really understand fully how critical a catalytic converter is. I know it gets rid of like some harmful gases, or it converts it to oxygen or something. I'm not sure. Is it worth $3,000 if that's what it is? And if that's what it is, if I get it replaced and that smell is still here, I'm gonna be absolutely furious. There's no... The warranty on this thing has run out. They all expired at 30,000 miles, like pretty much everything. So everything is out of pocket from now on. I don't have any of those sketchy warranties that you see ads for on TV. I never believed in those things. Maybe I should. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm freaking out over a smell. Sorry, that's what this video is right now. I'm gonna have a busy week. I will probably be in Boston all week again. This is like 2 whole weeks I've been in Boston, only escaped for one night, that one night in Royalston. I just have like appointments and doctor's appointments and work stuff and dates and concerts and stuff in this city until the end of this week. Then I want to get back to Western Mass and I want to get Moby Dick out. There are so many places in Central and Eastern Mass I want to put Moby Dick on the water. That Tully River I was at, what was it, last night? A few nights ago? My last video? I'm losing track of time. This might be a short video. It was just me covering all the random smell stuff and, I don't know, doing my laundry. I thought about doing a video. I thought about recording the laundry stuff, but I said, the heck with that. So, thanks for watching anyway. The hardcore fans who watch me do anything, you're the best. I appreciate all you guys. I just want to let you know I appreciate people who've bought memberships, people who leave helpful comments. I do eventually read all of it, and I love you guys. You know, you're the reason I keep making videos. The fact that people write me and say they're getting stuff out of this, they're getting something out of my videos. You know, my inspiration was Chrome, Van City Vanlife, because he was the only one doing like day-to-day updates from the day he first moved into a van, like hardcore every day. Not like this once-a-month retrospective of everywhere he went and stuff, but like the nitty-gritty. So I've been trying to do that myself, showing you the day-to-day stuff, and you're experiencing all the problems as I experience it, you know? So that's the point of my channel, and it's a lot of work. I basically have 2 full-time jobs. I spend 8 hours of work, you know, doing spreadsheets, and then I spend 8 hours doing YouTube stuff. And I barely sleep, but I do it for you guys, so thanks again. Yeah. All right, peace out, everyone.